difficult thing for our family. It destroyed our family.
Like,
my wife and I broke up over the stress of it.
Wow.
But my daughter's the greatest thing in my life, and we're all, it's just pure joy, but it's so hard. And it's extreme. And he was so respectful that it was breaking my heart.
Yeah.
He never said, you filthy piece of shit. He just said, you're so wrong, you wouldn't believe it.
But it's like
you're so way off. You're spreading a thing that's really, really harmful. And I felt like such a piece of shit.
But he was making it real, and you're making it fun.
Yeah, but that guy might have
but I said, though, the one thing I said that was wrong, I don't like saying things that are just wrong. I mean, because it's not wrong that she has a retard making cunt, because that's what one came out of there. It's not a nice way of saying it.
It's not medical, but...
Of course not. Their technical jargon.
But, go ahead, Dr. Lou.
The thing that was wrong to say is that there's no challenges to having a Down syndrome baby. I just didn't know that. And, we always say reckless shit. Yeah. I don't care. I don't fact-check my comedy.
Sure. No, you shouldn't have to.
The goal is a laugh.
Just let it out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. The only thing is, that guy, he might have saved, because what he showed you was the passion that people feel about that, and it's like, they may have come at, like, that may have been a very helpful email in the long run. Like, sometimes you underestimate how frustrated people are with something, and then you hit it and they come after you, and it's fucking relentless.
The best thing would have been, like, 5 minutes later, get another email, go, I'm just fucking with you, with a picture of a beautiful daughter, just perfect.
Yeah. She's amazing.
This is my daughter. I'm just fucking with you. I don't care. I was laughing my balls off.
No, and I've gotten angry emails before, and I never care. It's not my lookout. Other people people choose what to get offended by. You know? Yeah. People get offended by... I had a funny moment at the Comedy Cellar. I did this joke about 9/11.
Oh, I don't go for that.
You see? You see? I was doing a story about when I was married. It was really about how being married, you're in trouble all the time. You feel like you're in trouble when you're married, Anthony.
Constantly.
I don't get that sense from you. You guys seem like you're okay.
Yeah, we're all right, man.
Yeah.
I wish I had a story,
that's because you hit her, right? Because if you hit her, it's not.
Sometimes you got it.
So it goes the other way.
What's better than when you go to scratch your eye and they flinch?
But honestly, my old relationship, I could relate. Yeah, you walked around feeling like you were in trouble. So you're hitting on something.
So I was in L.A. and at 6 a.m, my hotel room phone rang. My phone rang, and my wife at the time was crying. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Did she find a phone sex bill? She can't talk. And I'm like, what is it? And then she tells me, turn on the TV, and it's both the World Trade Center towers are on fire. And I was like, woohoo! Like, I was the only person.
Oh, shit.
I was the only person.
Oh, damn.
To be deeply relieved
that it wasn't something else.
That 2 planes were flown in the world.
Something wasn't. It wasn't
that America would never feel safe again.
That's a great show.
Anyway, I did it. I told that story at the Comedy Cellar, and this guy stood up in that little room and said, "That's not okay, man. It's not okay." And he walked out. So then I'm upstairs talking to Mark Maron, a comedian.
Yeah.
And I said, this guy told him the story, and I said, I hate people that pick the thing in the show. That's what I'm offended by, because I said all kinds of shit in that show, and he let it go, but that's his sensitivity. So I said it's really narcissistic of people to decide what they're going to be offended by. And Mark said, that's how insane it is that you're calling that guy a narcissist, when that joke is the most narcissist thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's only important to
you were pleased that thousands of people were dead because you weren't in trouble with your fucking wife, because you didn't know how to fucking face your wife.
Shit. That's really funny.
Once in a while, you get fucking shit. Like, I did a 9/11 joke. It was probably a year after, not even, and I was doing something, and it wasn't a knock on 9/11. It was like somebody misinterpreting it. But the woman in the audience...
It wasn't a knock on 9/11?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to insult 9/11. Hey. It was a brilliant program. I mean, it's one of the most successful things I've ever seen.
But it was one of those things where I knew the person was misinterpreting the point of the joke, and she was kind of like saying something, and the woman behind her was looking at me, and she was just shaking her head no. Like, don't. So I started going after her, and the woman behind her was like, and I backed off. And then they told me after, like, yeah, her husband died. And so I was really happy I backed off because I was going to make it a whole big, like, thing like that. Like, you fucking cunt, what the fuck? You don't mind me talking about rape.
Right.
But once in a while, you back off and you're happy you did. It's like, even though technically, all right, she was being annoying.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking to a group of people, and you could never be aware. You can't make people fill out a thing and then do a data report.
Right.
Well, that's why anybody that calls or however they get in touch with us and they say something like, I'm a big fan of the show. I've been listening for years.
But that
when you said this, and it's like, you listened for years. You know how many fucking people we probably upset over the years that weren't you? You fucking idiot.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
But, and a lot, also, some people get offended just because I'm sure there's 9/11 victims who find that shit funny. There has to be.
That has to be, right.
A lot of times when we make fun of these things, we're just using them as in a context. Mm-hmm. The thing I said is about the misery. Marriage is so prohibitively constraining that a national disaster is good news.
It's not so much making light of the disaster, it's showing how awful marriage is.
It's also brutally honest. A lot of people have felt relief at something that wasn't affecting them that was worse for other people. You were just being fucking ugly and naked and honest about it. That's the beauty
and look,
of it.
this is the most fucked up thing to say, but if you suffered
you could have stopped the attacks and didn't.
I could have, but I wanted the bit. I had inside information. But I thought, God, that bit is so funny, I'm going to let it go. If you suffer directly or indirectly from something, you don't own it. You just don't.
No, you don't. You're right.
Unless your name is 9/11.
We have, all of us in here have goofed on things that have directly affected our lives. Sure. Personally affected our lives.
Of course.
And some of the things people know about, some they don't. Yeah, but whatever.
It's not
and
yours.
You just do it. It's not yours. It's not fucking, it's whatever it is. You put it over the air to make people laugh or think or whatever the fuck we're doing in here. But it's not, I'm not singling out all the people that this will offend. Hey, let me offend some people today with this. No, I'm going for the people that it doesn't
and
affect.
again, if you took part in something or something, you suffered from something, that doesn't give you the right to, if it's a thing that happened in the war, especially something that happened to the whole country, you don't get to control who gets to say what about it. And by the way, you get to get offended about it. That's my main thing about people getting offended. Yeah, you got offended. So that gets to happen.
There's been
That's part of living on the earth.
But there's been this whole thing that's taken place over the past few years where people absolutely believe that there is a right
to not be offended. To not hear something.
And especially if it's over airwaves and stuff like that. They think that the FCC, they can complain to the FCC and say they were offended by something and absolutely think that the FCC will go, hey, fuck you.
Well, I subscribe to the thought that laughter really is the best medicine.
It's straight talking, Jim.
Yeah, right. I don't want to get too serious.
I got an email once because of the Catholic Church video that I have on YouTube, where I go to the church and find out that they completely exist to fuck boys in the ass.
Hilarious, by the way.
And fucking hysterical.
And I've gotten a number of emails about that, and less than I thought I would.
Wow.
But it's funny that most people that complain about it, they'll say, Jesus is Lord and you've offended him, and I'm going to crack your fucking head open, you motherfucker. Yeah. Like, I get that all the time.
Which is really an odd
say, from a Christian point of view, you've hurt Jesus, and I'm going to fucking split your head open, you cunt. Like, they're so profane and so threatening.
That forgiveness shit goes out the window when it comes to religion.
But anyway, one guy wrote to me and said, my uncle is a Catholic priest and you insulted him. And I wrote him back and I said, no, I don't know your uncle.
It's not like I didn't insult him.
No,
personally.
I made a broad joke about a whole group, and it's got nothing to do with your uncle. And he wrote back and said, I know, and then we wrote back and forth, and we figured it out.
And you two fagged out? What happened? I don't like the end of that story.
I got to interrupt because we got Ron Perlman outside the studio.
He's out at 8:15.
He only has a few minutes, so we should get him in.